right, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Got me some
let's
snacks.
do it.
What do I gotta
Raise
watch
the
the
spire,
stream?
vault of glass.
That's not
That's
really
not
even
even
an
an
encounter.
encounter.
Yeah, I
That's
would just. I
it's a
hear
public event
change
here.
change the template on that very bottom one to like not an encounter or like intro encounter or something like that. Now,
Yeah.
hang on. Also, let's preface this. Do we want to just rank um the D1 raids once, or do we want to rank them twice, like their D1 version, and then re-rank their D2 version?
I think where it's relevant, we rank it.
different enough.
Okay, that's
Jack.
valid. All right, so was that D1 confluxes?
Mm-hmm.
I'd put that like D tier, C tier,
Um,
probably. What a lot
Confluxes,
going on.
the one with the, yeah, you're right. Just confluxes. Nah, that one was kind of
Yeah,
mid.
because I mean,
Banger
in
music though.
it did have good music, but in D1 you also have to think like you got no loot from it in D1. You didn't actually get a weapon or armor piece from it until D2
It
started.
was just a pre-loot to oracles, which oracles
Yeah,
was boring too.
in D1, yeah, I would put
I
confluxes
like
in like
oracles.
boring. I would say I wouldn't call it trash because I mean like there is still some like
I'd put it near
stuff going
trash.
on with that clear. I would put it like D. I mean we want maybe D minus.
Yeah, but you got to think about the level of encounters we have here. I think.
Well, yeah,
like
but you
the
also have
ribbon.
to think it's like literally the first encounter in the first ever raid. So you also have to think about it like that. Like it really did kind of get hit by Father Time a little bit.
I mean, yeah, but what's changed in D2? They had the chance to reprise it, and now it's just the exact same thing
It's a bit more
with a
engaging.
chest at the end.
It's a bit more engaging, and it's actually worth doing for loot. So
I
okay,
don't know. Put that thing
I
in
mean,
the bottom.
yeah, we can put an F. You're right. That's fine.
Scrape the
only
bottom
reason
of
I
the
say
barrel
F
with
is
that.
because this goes boring.
Do you want
Oracles?
oracles? Yeah. I mean, it's literally just like shoot the glowy thing. There's
Mhm.
real no rhyme or reason to it.
The chimes were really cool. I
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
but
like oracles. I'd say C
Mm,
because it goes
but there's no
dong
order to them. You just shoot them.
dong
You know.
he got you with that.
dong.
No, yeah. No, we can do D. I think D's fair.
Dad go. I hate you.
Yeah, D1 Templar I would put is like a solid C, B minus maybe. Like I thought D1 Templar was really fun because at least in the very very beginning. Now like obviously like in Age of Triumph and when people got higher level and stuff, you could just one phase them like you could in D2. But initially, like when you're under leveled, dude, he was hard
Couldn't see
and
it best.
he was rewarding. So, but then again, I guess you also have to think about it like in replayability perspective. Yeah, C.
I
We'll
mean,
do C.
I mean,
if
it's
the
just,
encounter
it's just
can be
it was
done in
middle of the road.
1
It's
minute,
not good.
it's C at best.
Yeah, that's fair. We should also like. Hang on. Sorry.
Gatekeeper's not an encounter. It goes below Oracle's IMO.
I mean, Gatekeeper or D1, it's an encounter. Like you get rewards from it.
It doesn't feel like an encounter. It's just like, oh, this is the room where Atheon is.
It's super short.
Here's
Don't
his
get me
dog.
wrong. I mean, I would put D tier. Like D tier.
Below
wouldn't-
Oracles.
I wouldn't say yeah, like D minus. I wouldn't say it's trash, but it's just kind of boring.
Okay,
I didn't even realize it was an
far left
encounter.
is the high end.
Let's put some like prerequisites out for the any viewers watching, like on how we should, I guess, grade everything and our reasonings as to why. And I mean, it kind of explains it on the side there, like what we think is like peak or great, good, boring, fine, whatever. But also, like we're trying to like do like an overall encounter rating, like replayability, first playthrough when you're under leveled or in contest mode on the newer ones, loot, like everything is an amalgamation, like is
Also, this
many
is definitive.
Kevin's
criteria.
thinking that hard. I can't think
Everyone
that
else's
hard.
list is wrong.
Yeah, this
It's
is
the
the only
official-
legit list.
Tom Bungie sponsored list. He's my dad. I know him.
Yep, that's him. All right, D1. What is that? D1 Atheon.
And they should have fired more.
I think D1 Atheon. He's also like
It's better than Templar.
he's better than Templar, yeah, but I mean it's still just not as engaging. Like D2 really just improved on everything that D1 did. So like,
Yeah.
I'd put him above Templar for sure.
Yeah.
I'd put him in
Yeah.
B, honestly.
I
But
would do
not
like
being able to use rockets made it fun.
yeah. I mean, well, you could still technically use rockets if you just like sit at the back of the map and drop the relic.
That's complexity, Kevin. That's the je ne sais quoi that makes it a good encounter.
Top of C.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
gum.
Abyss, I would honestly D1 Abyss.
It's better than Gatekeeper, I think.
S tier.
What?
Because here's the thing, I could solo it easily in like 1 minute. It was
Well,
peak.
I hate to break it to you, everyone could solo it. It was D1 Crota.
I know, dude, it's great. It was peak. It's the best. D2 Crota doesn't do it justice because it's actually, difficult.
D2 Crota sucked. Or that encounter in D2. I mean, not that.
I like it in D2 because I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
funny. You get
it's
more
that- I-
situational sit.
Solid middle of the road D tier for sure.
Yeah.
D1 Bridge. That's an odd one.
I hate Bridge.
I didn't like it. I think it's just too buggy, dude. Like it's too weird. You just sit on plates and shoot stuff, and then one person does the mechanic at a time, which is kind of like reminiscent of Ron, and Ron is not good. So I would honestly put D1 Bridge in
Is
either
it better
like
than Abyss, though? Is it better than
D1
Oracles?
Bridge didn't even need people standing on the plates.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Just sword skate.
I would probably rather do Bridge than Abyss, so I would rank it higher than Abyss. But
I'd rather do Abyss. I think Abyss was fun, especially when the bridge is getting built and the music starts getting.
that is true. That music did hit. I don't know.
I think
Well,
I'm with Thomas on this because D1 Abyss was more eerie than D2 Abyss.
yeah, it was a lot more immersive, especially at the time it came out too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
D2 Abyss is fun because we're all stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the best moments come from that.
How many times do I have to run this stupid Shirochi to get
Okay.
this catalyst? God, dog.
So here you D1.
Not bad.
Not bad, but like with Irute and D1, like all it is just it wasn't even really an encounter. Like you just walk up the stairs, kill everything, and then shoot the wizard.
Above Templar, but below Atheon.
Really, you rank it that high?
I just don't really like Templar.
I was gonna say like F tier on it, dude. Like it's not even an encounter; it's like a strike boss. Like there's no mechanics to it.
I have fond memories of the Death Singer.
I mean, like
Being able
it's
to just solo her is that fond memory.
I mean, yeah, but
Here-
like
here's
now
the
I will
thing.
say,
No, listen. I want to put Raised Aspire in F because at least you have to stand on a plate. But I'm with Kevin on the Death Singer. There's no mechanic in any way. It's just you walk in, you do, and you just shoot. Right. That's why I think it can be in the is this even an encounter tier.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but on the other hand, it gives you loot, so it's more of an encounter than Confluxes. Or
that's
not-
also well, that's
not
also
much.
true. Yeah. Like, I would say like for the is this even an encounter tier? I would just put like intro stuff because they're not really encounters, but like save F tier for like actual just not good like legit encounters.
Is there a King's Fall jumping puzzle thing in here? Because that is an encounter. That takes all of my strength and then some.
Which one? The dick walls or the?
The stupid planes. Planes, trains, and automobiles, dude.
That one's fun. What do you mean?
That much fun. Yeah, maybe if you're one of the people who do it. I leave.
Okay, so
I go home.
Where are we feeling for Death Singer?
Yeah, put her in F.
F.
Is she better
D1
than
Crota.
Confluxes?
E1 Crota goes up in B or A.
I would rather do Confluxes over Death Singer. D1 Crota was fun. I really like D1 Crota, and like the crazy thing is that it was actually like, I mean, I'm not gonna say really challenging, but it did have some bit of challenge on concurrent playthroughs because of the Chalice of Light mechanic. How like y'all couldn't heal unless
think
like you
that's
had to
great.
grab the OG Chalice.
I think they should have brought that into the D2 version.
It was interesting, man. Yeah, like it was, and it's really the only encounter that happened like that with the Crota's presence debuff. Like you literally could not heal.
It was
So like people literally back in the OG days ran Red Death just to heal yourself, and so like it was cool. I really like that. The only downside to me is that like only one person can actually do the true mechanic, but at the same time, unlike in stuff like Ron, it's not really like with Ron, it's not really a skill issue. It's just you go fast. But like in this one, like yeah, only one person can do the mechanic, but they actually have to be good enough to do it. You know, in order
that
to
you had
like
a lot of team
yeah,
coordination.
yeah, and you do have to coordinate it in other ways. So yeah, I would say it's solid B tier. Like it's a fun encounter. It's good. Yeah. What is that? The intro to King's Fall with the balls? That's not an encounter. I mean,
It's the Court of
Oh.
Oryx.
exactly. It's not an encounter. You.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
it had a
nothing.
really cool intro. I like.
I'm
I
putting
like
it in
a
not an
lot.
encounter too. I just wanted to argue with Kevin. I agree, but
It's just an intro encounter. I mean, I just yeah.
in D2 they did change it. I like the changes that they made to it in D2, but it still kind of feels like I could load this up and just do it as a public event.
Yeah.
All right.
D1 totems, I would put like bottom of D, top of F. It's just boring.
Bottom of D, top of F.
D1 totems, not
D1,
D2.
yeah, D2 is a lot better, but
D2 is a lot better because you can actually speedrun it a little bit more.
I think totems is top of F. I don't think it's as good as the bridge.
Totems is better than
I would rather
complexes.
do I would rather do totems over complexes in Death Singer. I
I'd
actually
rather
would.
do totems over bridge. Or no, that's a fair spot. That's a fair and just spot.
I still don't like Gatekeeper up here. I really don't.
I think it's too high.
We can lower it. The main reason I like D1 Gatekeeper a bit more is because you can have 3 people with the relic and everyone running around with relics is fun. But that's just a kind of
I'd rather do
goofy choice.
I'd rather do Gatekeeper here and compromise with you because we're moving it down, but we'll put it above totems.
Mm-hmm.
Are we okay with that? Okay.
Yeah.
War
No, he's gonna
Priest,
hate you forever
D1.
for it.
D1 War Priest, I would do
blood on his walls.
top of C, bottom of B. I thought it was really fun.
Well, hold on. D1 War Priest got better in Age of Triumph, remember?
Yeah, because you could do more with it.
I think it should go top of C, bottom of B, you think? I almost want to put it over Crota
I
But you gotta
still
remember
think
because of Age of Triumph.
I would rather do Crota.
Let's grade these on their release state.
Release War Priest. God, that was forever ago. I must have been like 30 then.
I mean, it was fun. Like I know, like a lot of the D2 community, or well, Destiny community in general at that time, just hated like plate mechanics and stuff. And I get it. Like plate mechanics are kind of like, eh.
Still a
But
thing.
War Priest was still, yeah. I mean, yeah. War Priest is still a bit more interactive. Like it was a fun damage phase.
Yeah.
To me, like it was really satisfying damage phase, and it was one of the few bosses in Destiny 1 at the time that you actually could pull off a one cycle on, like a one phase. And it actually required a little bit of, well, not a little bit. It required a good bit of coordination and some skill too. So I mean, like, because most D1 bosses you really couldn't one phase without like a really good hardcore setup and just cook. But War Priest was fun for that. So I wouldn't put it over Crota, but I would put it in B, top of C at worst.
Talking about on released, I think it goes behind Atheon. It doesn't have that much going for it on release. It was just like a good standard fairy encounter.
I mean, yeah, I would probably rather
I
do
would rather
D1
do
Atheon.
this.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm down with that.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I think Atheon has more going on than we give it credit for. It's been
Yeah,
out for so
yeah,
long.
that's what I was just thinking. Golgi,
So-
I think,
A.
is
A,
one of
if not
these.
S. I would.
Golgoroth is a peak encounter.
It really is. I would honestly put Golgoroth in S because I mean, like now, granted, D1 Golgoroth you could cheese and you could just do one orb strat. D2 it forces you to do all the
of
orbs.
this we're doing as if you're doing it legit.
Okay, then yeah, S. I mean,
I think it should go in A instead of S just because of how buggy getting the gaze was in D1.
Once again, it's just
It's on release.
just
on release, like eliminating bugs, like in a vacuum type deal.
in a vacuum.
I would say it's
mechanics.
S. Yeah, I mean, like the
weapons.
mechanics are great. Everyone has to be involved. There has to be a lot of communication. You have to be good at damaging, and you have to be aware of the ads, the explosive light mechanic, or whatever it's called, the curse thrall explosion thingy.
That was a good mechanic.
So yeah, I thought it was great. And one thing that actually made Golgoroth a bit more difficult in D1 versus D2 is if you died, it would add a tally to like the totem or whatever.
It still does that.
No, in
per-
D2 they changed it to if you
Damage
don't do
range.
all the orbs, it adds to the totem in D2.
Right?
But in D1, if you died, which obviously in hard mode, if you died, you couldn't be res unless you're on self res. But in normal mode,
which they need
you
to
couldn't
bring
just
that back.
you couldn't just infinitely res. Like you actually had to like lock in. And now, granted, it was normal mode, so it was a bit easier. But still, I thought it was a cool added mechanic. So yeah, I'd say Golgoroth is solid S.
I'm
What's
saying
the-
A. I think it can gatekeep S.
I think for now we go here.
I think I think I would put D2 Golgoroth in S and D1 Golgoroth in A, just because D2 I think takes what little was wrong with D1 Golgoroth and just made it better. So I'm fine with that.
I can get behind that. All right.
Daughters
Okay.
of Orcs.
Daughters of Oryx.
F. It's a shit
Eh.
ass encounter.
It's yeah. I mean, I would rather do Daughters over probably everything but Gatekeeper in that category.
Yeah, I actually agree with you there.
Like I think yeah.
I think
Like
that's a good placement.
that's Daughters was just not. Damn, we're really like
Daughters
we're
was just
really
like my
mean on
daughter,
these encounters.
disappointing and slow-witted.
No,
I think
but
we dropped that
they
thing.
get so much better though. Like we have to.
It does get so much. Yeah, I mean, you also have to keep in mind the sign of the time.
Yeah.
D1
Now,
Oryx.
D1
I don't like
gated
Oryx.
Oryx.
I don't like Oryx.
I would say it's.
Oryx is below Daughters. Daughters isn't that bad when I think about Oryx.
I would much rather do Oryx than
No,
Daughters.
Oryx is
Oh wait,
better
I
than
forgot about
Oracles.
Thunderdome. I was right.
I do.
Oryx is better than
Thunderdome is sick.
Thunderdome saves it.
Like I would probably
I
beat
think it's
Oryx
in
as
C.
like the like gatekeeping C kind of deal. Like I would Oryx like because it's fun and the mechanics are really cool. At least at the time, it was very mechanic heavy, which we hadn't really seen out of a raid up until King's Fall. So that was cool. But on subsequent playthroughs, it does turn to a little bit of a drag. But at the same time, it does keep challenge in there. Like everyone minus like one person on the fire team had to like know what they were doing, and even that one person still had to be like somewhat non-brain dead to help with the ogres and the light eater knights.
Yeah,
So
it is very good. The mechanics are astounding. The only reason that I do not like this encounter is that there's no like true damage check until the end. It's just
yeah,
blow up bombs.
I agree.
I feel like that was really annoying.
That's
Yeah.
why I like it right here.
I think like
I would do these more.
bottom of C gatekeeping.
I think it's better than
The
Templar,
seed.
but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, Vossic.
Okay.
Okay, this
Part
is all you
one.
guys. I still have yet to do Wrath. So
Oh, Wrath is
Vossic's
such a
fun.
great.
Is this
Vossic
his first
part
phase or
one?
second?
First phase, which a lot of people will be like, well, it's an intro encounter, but you did get an exotic chest at the end of that, and there were more mechanics than most intro encounters.
And it was damage. Like you actually damaged something.
And you actually had a damage. I would put it in C tier.
Yeah, you know that's fair. It's better than Oracle's. Vossic was a solid encounter. He's below Oryx. He's behind Oryx.
Oh yeah, I'll put him beneath Oryx, but in C tier.
I still think C maybe. I mean he's
Yeah, no,
definitely
C.
leading
Yeah,
D.
C. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean. If I said D, I didn't mean it. I thought it's fun. It's a lot more interactive and like I don't know, it's just enjoyable. You're moving around constantly. Vossic Phase 2
is probably it's above Atheon.
Yeah,
is it above
I would.
Crota? Probably.
I wouldn't put it above Crota, but I would put it like middle of B, like middle of the pack B. Like it's a good encounter. It's fun. The challenge mode on it is fun. It's just like it's not super mechanic heavy, but it's enjoyable to do because like it's not like it doesn't take a long time. Like it's pretty quick, good ad density, so like everyone's challenged on killing ads, especially when those captains come out. The monitor mechanic is cool, and damaging him is really satisfying. And throwing the balls to break a shield is cool too. And it got good loot.
Had
So
amazing loot.
yeah, you get Ex Machina from that encounter. So yeah, I would say solid B tier encounter. Like I really think the only thing that's like holding it back is just it's got easy mechanics. That's about it. Everything
it's easy,
else is
but clean room was fun. It was a good
yeah.
mechanic.
Clean room is cool. So yeah. What is the next one? Siege Engine. Ooh, I would put that in. I'd put that in A. On a C, really?
Siege Engine could get clunky if not everybody knew where to take the parts, and knowing where to take the parts just seemed like such a niche thing to know off the top of your head.
I mean, yeah, you had to learn it, but
Also,
I don't know. I
plugging
just
the parts is slow.
I like Siege Engine just because at the time it was so revolutionary. It was like really the first like true non-boss encounter that wasn't just stand on plate. You know, like it actually like had something going on.
It's definitely the greatest of the non-boss encounters. However,
In D1.
that I mean D2 maybe even.
I don't know. You
That
got
puts it at
Vault.
the top of D right now. It's not better than Bossic in my opinion.
I would go. I would concede it to C tier then. I can do C. Like I would rather do Vossic Phase 1 and like all the bosses over Siege Engine. So that's fair. But I think C is probably like
Yeah,
where
back a
it needs
C.
to go.
The
Like, yeah,
gatekeeper
like,
to C, the leader of all the non-boss encounters. I could put
yeah,
that. Yeah, I can get
yeah.
behind that.
So which end?
But into
Bottom
C.
bottom of C.
Okay.
Axis Phase 1,
Eh.
I didn't like it. It just was kind of boring and it took a long time to do, and the shanks came out for way too long.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fair.
I
These
would put
these
it
are
in
the guys
D.
complaining about it not coming back. By the way.
Hey,
Dude,
listen.
everything but Axis was peak. And Axis
Yeah.
Phase 2 was good.
Uh, Axis Phase 2. I'll give my opinion on it in a second, but I would put it in D. Like, I would probably put it top of D. Like, I would still rather do that over Oracles, but
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'd rather do it over Oracles.
Axis Phase 1 is S tier, 1000%.
You mean Axis Phase 2?
Phase 2, sorry, yeah.
I can't
Axis
get
Phase
behind
2
it.
is 1000% S tier. It's in
Fucking
my
turrets.
opinion, next to Riven Legit and probably, well, I'll talk about my other opinions later, but it's a top 3, probably more like top 2 encounter for
I'll
of
raise you,
like
though.
of all time
The
for me.
turrets sucked.
Well, that was only on Phase 1.
No, the
They weren't.
turrets on Phase 2 on hard mode. The turrets were awful.
Oh, that's right. They were on hard mode. I mean, yeah, they were annoying, but like if you just shot it with the cannon, it would chill it out.
That killed the encounter for me. I hated those dang
I
turrets.
didn't
It was a great encounter otherwise, though.
I
But
didn't
no.
mind it. I loved how that's another thing that was great about Axis is quite literally everybody had to know what to do on the mechanics because you didn't know who was going to be getting powered.
Ooh.
So like you couldn't slack in that. And the damage was really satisfying, like how you could damage them. You could damage them in a bunch of different ways. You could use shotguns, swords, rockets, snipers, sleeper, like whatever.
I'll
There were
raise you another issue.
some straps were better than others, but still.
Raise you another beef I have with this. The bug where if you had the buff and you grabbed the scorch cannon, you couldn't see that you had the buff. Even if the buff didn't come at one time. The buff took a while to get up from time to time. So you'd be running around thinking, "Oh, I'm safe," and pick up a scorch cannon, do the other mechanic, and then all of a sudden everybody's dead because the buff didn't pop up
Yeah,
yet.
but like in a vacuum, like no bugs, you know.
I don't even know if that's a bug or just they didn't think to implement it. They were like, "Oh yeah, bro, did you do that?" No,
Fair enough. Fair
but it
enough.
is a very good encounter.
I love Axis. God, Bungie. I know you're probably never gonna hear this, but on the 0.0001% chance you do, please remaster this raid.
I'll let my dad know.
Yeah,
I'll let Tom Bungie know.
let Tom Bungie know, dude. All right. Intro to D2 Leviathan. So what
Just
is that's
Leviathan. That's the
that's
Castellum. Oh,
that's the Castellum. Yeah, that's not really an encounter. I mean, it was
yeah.
cool.
Don't
It's
know.
not really an encounter.
It actually goes to the
Where
top
does
of
it
Nope
rank?
though because of where
I
it
would put it at the
does
top of Nope though. Yeah, like it's definitely of the non of like the intro encounters. At least so far, it's the most fun to
by
me.
a mile. The tunnels and everything were super cool. I
Yeah,
think
Okay.
conceptually it's the greatest thing they've done. It just is not an encounter.
yeah.
Not to jump the gun here. I hate this encounter so much.
Royal pools. Oh no, it was boring. Yeah, I would F tier. I'm totally fine with.
I mean, I put it over Gatekeeper.
I would let. I actually would probably. I don't know. I'd rather do Gatekeeper. I'd rather do. I'd put it like middle of F. Like a
This was just
couple of
run around
those.
and wait for guys to come out of the pool, kill them, run around some more, and then
Yeah,
kill crystals in the middle. That was it. So boring.
yeah. It was pretty boring. Now I will say that when the game first came out, those dudes who jumped out of the pool hurt.
Beefy.
Yeah, they were
Now
beefy.
I
And damage
would
with Ward
I
Pool
would
was fun.
maybe do this, but still.
I'm okay with that. I don't think
Alright.
anyone who watches this would disagree. I haven't heard anyone talk good things about the pool encounter.
Do we like it better than Death Singer or no?
I do.
Okay, then
Both have strong opinions on
I'm okay
pools.
with this because this at
Yeah,
least
both
has
uh,
some
more people.
mechanics.
All right. The dogs encounter A tier.
S. It's peak.
Honestly, I'd be okay with putting it in S.
Now
I think I would put it bottom. I would put
I
it
think it
bottom
should.
of S, but I would put it like
Here's
top
where
of
I am
A.
on this.
I think it
I
should
know
gatekeep
that
A,
when
actually.
D2 first came out, you guys all did this raid together, and I'm sure this encounter was super fun. Every time I did it with you guys, though, you guys just didn't want to be there, didn't want to do it, and it was just so boring. So
Oh, I'm sorry on your experience. I will say when it first came out, just because like there was no encounter like it, and there was never anything like it again. Like it's the first time like you had to like actually. Well, I guess maybe Gorgons, but that wasn't really an encounter.
Where's this
Um,
encounter? It's not on our list,
yeah, it's not
so
on the
it's
list.
not
So
an
hey,
encounter.
not an encounter. Um, but I mean, it was really the only time you had to sneak around, and it was cool. I'd say gatekeeping A, like bottom of A, because like
Gatekeeps
I
A.
definitely think Golgoroth is better, but it's a really good encounter, and I wouldn't consider it a boss encounter because like they're not really bosses, but like it is cool how like yeah you could only get 1 or 2 stacks in damage if you wanted to, but if you wanted to really sneak around and get a lot of snacks, you go for stacks. You could
Snacks.
go for the
Hungry at
one
3 a.m.
phase. Yeah, dude. I don't know. It was just cool.
I think
I
it goes
think it was
above
just
Golgi.
it was unique and it was new
I think
and
it
fun.
beats Smolgaroth solely
Oh,
because
I
it's
don't know.
completely new
I
and you
so
can't
disagree with you there.
do this like Golgoroth. Like Golgoroth, you can turn your brain off from time to time and go, "Oh, I gotta check my buff. I gotta jump at Golgoroth." This one, you're like, "Oh, it's right behind me, isn't it?" Oh, you're freaking out the whole time. It's fun.
That is a
It's
fair point, but it
apprehensive.
also
It's
depends
active.
on the perspective.
I mean, once we
I
got
mean,
it
I'm
down, it was a
outnumbered
little
here. It's up
lesser.
to you
But
guys.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, if it were D2 Golgoroth, I would say absolutely not. But since it is D1 Golgoroth, uh,
Royal peace, royal
We'll leave
peace.
it like
I'm down.
this for now.
I'm down to leave it like that. That's going to be a hot take for
Now, here's
anyone
my
who
Gauntlet
comes.
here's my
S,
hot take.
S, maybe even top of S.
Well, that is a hot take. Oh my
I'm with
god.
Jack.
I
This
love
is a
this
peak
encounter.
encounter.
I
This
love this
is
encounter so much.
amazing.
When you do it right and everyone's on the
It was a
same page, it is so
LFG
satisfying.
nightmare is what it was.
But it's so satisfying. I
Peak
love it.
encounter. This
I
is
was gonna,
Now,
I was
I
gonna say
understand
like,
though it doesn't belong here technically, so I'm okay to do this. But this is I want people to know this is where this belongs.
I'm with Jack. I think it goes. If Dogs is gatekeeping S tier, Gauntlet is what it's gatekeeping because Gauntlet was slightly better than Dogs.
I disagree. I think
I
dogs is
think
the, I
Gauntlet's
think
definitely
dogs
better
is
than
the best.
Golgoroth.
Dogs is the best encounter in Leviathan, in my
Gauntlet's
opinion.
better than D1 Golgi, I think.
I think
I was gonna put Gauntlet at like top of C, bottom of B personally,
Ooh,
but
no.
I've also had some horrendous LFG experiences, so that might kind of have shaded my view.
That's when I was playing with
But
Boogie and them, and I'm still putting that thing high. Keep in mind, those guys are dumber than a bag of rocks and about twice as dense.
I guess I've just had some bad. I don't know. I listen. I'm outvoted here, but I would personally put it at like in C or bottom of B. It's a good encounter. I think dogs is better.
We can top of A it and make it the new
Dogs is
gatekeeper,
currently
but I
listed
think it should
higher.
be
I have
S.
it better than D1 Golgi.
I would rather do Golgoroth over that. But again, that's just me. If I'm outvoted, that is okay.
I think it is the best encounter Leviathan. I think if you look it up, 9 times out of 10 people are going to say the exact same thing. I think it is peak encounter. I think it goes above dogs. It should be an S in my opinion. I can compromise on A, top of A.
I will say, because we are another disclaimer here. We're going off of like hard mode added mechanics for those that had added mechanics in hard mode.
What? When did
You
you
are?
add this?
What?
I thought that was implied.
Why was it implied? What did you say this? Are we telepathic?
We were talking about hard mode in D1 about like the Lightyear Knights and the
Yeah, and
turrets
then I
on hard
chimed
mode.
in and I said we're doing release.
Well, yeah. What it? Okay. Well, anyways, we'll just take we'll take normal and hard mode into account. My bad.
Okay.
But regardless, I will say at least in the prestige mode version of that, everyone had to be doing something. So it did force everyone to learn the mechanics, which I did find enjoyable.
Look,
Hey, you really gonna shoot on Bradford ups the stakes? Are you really gonna shoot on that? That thing goes in S tier. That thing goes in S tier.
Is that where that thing came
That
from?
is exactly where it came from because it goes Callus ups the stakes and the stupid platforms
Oh,
start
that's
jiggling.
right. That's right. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just I would do. Can we do bottom of A? Is that fair?
S S S S S
it's
S.
so much better than Golgi. I'm sorry. I have
Okay.
to.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. Or where are we putting Callus?
Mid. I didn't really like
It's
Callus.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like it's. I would probably like. I'd rather do Callus over
I'd rather
Oryx,
do Callus.
honestly.
You really? Okay.
Over D1 Oryx. Let me rephrase. I would rather do Callus
yeah.
over D1 Oryx.
That's fair.
He's on either side of Oryx. I'm with you there.
I'd put him in front. You know, it's not by much, but I would prefer to do Callus over D1 Oryx,
Okay.
just
I can
because you
get
can.
behind that.
You know, it's kind of like with the dogs. You get more stacks, you can do more damage. So like you can kind of gauge how much damage you want to do. And of course, you know, the further we went on, he became a pushover.
I
But
have two hot takes relatively back to back here. This encounter, while it's not an encounter and it belongs down here, I laughed some of the hardest playing this encounter because of how stupid we were when we did it. Like Hodges,
oh, it's hilarious for memes. It's
like
so fun to
Hodges
goof around
missing
on.
his jump somehow and resetting all of us at the very end was just peak comedy for me. So
But I
We
will
could
say
do
though,
this an
like,
encounter or a raid. The whole thing I don't even consider a
man,
raid.
dude,
well,
Eater Worlds is
that's
just a
why it's a
strike
nope.
minus the final boss. But I mean, plates. Eater Worlds just sucked. I'm gonna be honest. Like there was, the armor was the ugliest shit I've ever seen in my life, and the two weapons at the time were dog shit and were never good. The shotgun was fun, but it wasn't that good.
Shader was
And
cool. That's about it.
the shader was decent. Yeah, the shader was cool, but yeah, that plate sucked. But it was hilarious to goof around on.
Hated it.
Ar-
I only ran Argos maybe 3 times.
Argos Phase One was. I wouldn't go so far to say it was
Boring. It's just
boring.
I, I,
It was
I
boring.
think it's pretty boring.
The whole thing's boring.
Well, actually, that's a good point. Based on what we had on, I would put it over. I'd rather do it over Oracles though. Like I'd put it right behind
Oh,
Axis Phase One.
I've been holding that in for a while. This is way too high.
Put Oracles at bottom of D.
Well, hold on now.
No,
D1
Yeah, that's
Oracles.
fair.
because
That's
D1
fair.
Oracles. D1 Oracles.
That's fair.
I'd rather do
But it
Argos
goes
over
don't.
Bridge, but I have
I'd rather
soft
do
spot
I
for
would
this
too.
over
That's why
Argos.
I would put Argos like right behind Axis One.
I still like Abyss better, but
Tripping. I'd
That's
put
fine.
Argos at, almost honestly, I would personally put Argos behind Oracles. I understand that's probably a hot take. Argos is just Phase 1 is what?
okay,
You jump
since
around,
Thomas
you
is
grab
down here
faces.
and you're right here,
You're cooking, dude.
We'll sit right here.
It's cooking the encounter.
It's cooking the encounter. You know what you're cooking? A fat load of nothing. You get nothing out of this thing.
Well, I mean, yeah,
You've
but
heated up a pot of tin. Congratulations. You've cleared a
Argo-
clog in the Leviathan. Because that's what you are
Argos
now.
Phase 2. My hot take for Argos Phase 2 is I would put it in B. I actually thought it was a good encounter. I thought it was fun.
I think it's
That was bad.
I think it's either
I would put it bottom of B, top of C.
I think it's
Like,
a dungeon
it's-
encounter.
It's not better than Atheon, but I would honestly rather do it over D1 War Priest, I think.
You're
I'm
tripping
with
ball.
you. This implies it's on the same level as these. I don't think it is. I think it's on the same level as these.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean,
Throw that thing behind Templar.
if there was like a B minus tier, I'd put it B
I
minus.
might be with Thomas on this.
I could see
think-
it in front of or behind Templar, but I think
But I
Templar is
also-
the metric.
That's actually true. I don't know. I think I would rather do Argos over Callus though.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
would too.
That I can get behind.
So
I like
okay,
having
that's,
all
that's
the
fair. I'm
harpies
okay with
fly
that.
at you during DPS. I think that's cool.
Dallas
Yeah.
was kind of.
I know. Granted, this wasn't technically an encounter, but damn, was it a fun intro. The Spire of Stars intro encounter where you're throwing the balls in a circle.
The pillars.
Yeah, where the Rise of the Pillars. I thought it was fun. I would put it like at the top of
Oh, this
Nope.
is where you got the.
No, it
lounge
doesn't beat
emote,
Castellan,
right?
dude. Castellan had so much stuff.
Actually,
you
no,
could
you're
do in
right.
the Underbelly.
It goes in S tier because you get the lounge emote.
This is where you get the lounge emote. We
No, no,
grinded
no.
this, dude.
Dude,
I'm kidding, but
hear me out. It goes behind Castellan. That's where it belongs. Because Castellan, you could do so much in that area because you could go through the entire Leviathan. It had so many like
That's
board
fair.
things in it. It was almost like somebody's pet project that they let to throw in there, and
But
it really
this
showed.
implies I'd rather do Death Singer, and that's just not true.
That's not an encounter though. Nope is just the not encounter category.
yeah,
No,
Nope is like the non-encounters, like the intro encounters.
Okay, well then why is Death Singer up here?
Because it is technically an encounter, even though it doesn't play like one. It is like
I know, but this
you
is
get
too. You
loot
get
from
loot
it.
from it.
You got a chance at an emote. You didn't actually get raid loot from it.
I think you could get the sleeper catalyst
you-
technically.
On the prestige mode, you could get the sleeper catalyst from it, and then I think you could get some shaders, but that's it.
But you got
It's
loot
not-
from plates too.
Yeah, but plates is so bad it deserves to go in the non-encounter.
Okay, whatever.
All right, Valkor Phase 1, or whatever it's actually called,
Oh,
Destroy
no,
the
Destroy
Ships.
the ships.
I did it once, didn't finish it. We quit playing. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of clunky.
I think it's fun.
I
think
thought it was
both of these
fun.
are
I'd put it in terms of non-boss encounters. I think it's probably on the better end. Like I would say,
I'd rather do this over Argos. I'm trying
I
to
would put it in
decide.
C. I would definitely put it in C. I'd put it bottom of C.
Yeah, it's not boring. You're right. I
It's
don't know.
not boring. It's fine.
I
Like
think it's better than Siege Engine.
it's not.
Or
I
I've
don't
never
think so.
played it, but
You didn't do Siege Engine. What?
I would say like bottom of C. Like it's gatekeeping C.
I
But
never
like
finished it, so
I don't know. Like if I'm thinking about it, like if we're actually looking at the definitions on this tier list, I would say, oh no, Valkor's S tier, dog. Put that in
no.
S.
All right, Valkyrie is not S tier.
it's A.
S
It's
tier
We couldn't
or
even
top
do it,
A.
dude. We
What do you
started
mean?
it.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm
we
talking
had.
about the one time I did it with y'all. We started it and then we were like, no, let's do this later, and we never did it again. We ran it once.
I don't even remember doing it with you.
Yeah, no, it was the
Was
one
I in the
time we got to him
was
and we
I
were
in
like,
the fire
okay,
team?
yeah, you were the reason we
Okay.
didn't finish it. You're like, I'm done for today.
Oh
We'll
shit.
pick it up later,
I'm
and then we never
sorry.
did. No, that's fine. I don't care. I don't hold a
Valkor,
grudge, but I don't think it's an S
I
tier
would
encounter. I looked it up and watched it. It's
I would put an S. Well, okay. Now the only thing holding Valkor back is the loot, just because that raid had nothing either,
we gotta
other than
take that into
bad.
consideration.
other than a good shader. But
Why
like,
were there planes, dude?
I thought it was fun. Listen, it's another encounter where everyone had to do something, and it was honestly, at the time, the only boss encounter that had a boss that was threatening to you, that could actually kill you.
I'm okay with
Callus
top of
could
A.
kill you. Callus could smite you with his eye little face
Okay,
laser beam.
that's true, but okay, let me rephrase. His was a bit harder to dodge.
You.
I'm okay with putting him at top of A, but me personally, I would throw him in S.
I just because here's the thing. I
Top
did
of
this
A.
raid a good bit. I just was. And granted, you guys wouldn't let me do main mechanics, so I was kind of just on ad clear. But I just remember being like so underwhelmed, and hearing everyone be like, "It's the best. It's so good." I was like, "Huh?" I just
He's
remember
got
being
war mind
like,
fever on his brain. That's what this is.
Hey, listen, a quick hot take.
Look,
Warmind was
we
like the
have
most
people saying S,
underrated
we have people
expansion in
saying
Destiny
C,
2.
so
All right, we'll do A. We'll do A. Top A.
Warmind was not great. You were just in such a content drought that you had literally been, what's the term, when you sympathize with your oppressor.
Dude, okay, minus making a literal worm god a strike, Warmind was great.
It had like one piece of content, and that was escalation protocols.
It had the raid was really good. I mean, for
Yeah,
a
it's really
raid
good.
layer, it was good.
Name the loot, Kevin.
It was a burst pistol and a fusion rifle. I don't remember either of the names. Emperor's Courtesy, maybe? No, that was
Garbage loot. There was no reason to get it.
that's the one thing that's what I said. The one thing that held back that raid was that the loot was garbage, minus like the shader and then the emote.
Well, no, I'm talking about this DLC now. Is the reason the DLC was bad is there was just no reason to do any of the things in it. You had
What do you
escalation
mean?
protocols.
You
That
had
was it.
arguably the most OP weapons ever in Escalation Protocol at the time for legendaries, and
Bro,
the Whisper mission came out during that point.
I'm not farming escalation protocols for 30 hours. It gets boring after the first one.
Yeah, you suck. That's a skill issue.
I ran it like 100 times, dude.
Okay, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry. All right, now we're entering the golden age of Destiny. Last Wish.
You should throw every encounter in S, but Riven with an asterisk.
Callie, I would put in C. It's fine.
No,
Like
you're tripping balls. Just because Hodges can't read doesn't mean Callie goes into C.
Callie's. I mean, it's good, but it's nothing
it's
crazy.
fine. Yeah,
It's fine.
No, Callie is better
it's better than
War
Argos.
Priest. I think Callie is better than Atheon.
Oh, that's
Really?
Callie
oh,
is
that's
better
such
than
a bad
Vasic.
take, I
Callie is
think.
better than Crota. It's a fun mechanic. Doors is cool.
I'm okay with
And
top
the-
of C.
I agree that the doors mechanic is cool, but the rest of the encounter is standing on plates.
I think it's on par with all of these.
So is
I
so
mean,
is
it's not on
Oryx.
par with these.
We're
I
ranking
don't
it
know
up
about
higher
that.
than Oryx.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's top of C.
Alright.
We're ranking
I'll
way
take
higher
it.
than Oryx.
I just think it's a
Shiroshi,
really fun encounter.
I would put an A.
This is
Like,
S.
Eh,
I'm with
eh.
Jack.
I'd be okay with this. I mean, Shiroshi was really fun at the time. Like, the
this
chase
is
mechanic was cool.
one of the most fun encounters I've ever done. I think it's so.
Base mechanic is still cool.
Now I'm
I
okay.
think they need to buff
I
her
can
health.
I can
but I think it's
sacrifice
S.
this because there's a
No, I
lot
mean,
of
you know what?
S tiers coming up, but
I'd be okay putting it in S. I would put it like towards the bottom half of S, like make it like almost kind of have to gatekeep S, but like
I think it's S because it's unique. There's
I'd be
nothing
okay with
else
that.
like
It is. You're right. It
So
is
unique.
incredibly
Outside of Guard.
unique. Because like I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, health gate, but like if you're gonna health gate a boss, that's like the perfect way to do it and
Mhm.
make it fun. because like it's not technically a health gate. Like she's
Because there's
escaping you, and you
there's
have to go
mechanics in
chase her,
between
and
the
then you
health
have to
gate.
do exactly. Yeah, it's really well done. Other than the challenge, that challenge was hell.
Yeah.
With the
But
eye,
yeah,
I think the eye was the only weird. They could have just taken the eye out, and the encounter would have been perfect as
yeah,
is.
the
The
eye
eye is
was
kind of
like,
a weird thing.
well, I mean, I guess like if you think about it at the time, right? Like when everyone was under leveled for Last Wish because it was so high light, you kind of needed the stun mechanic to actually do a good DPS phase, depending on like what you were running. But I
EP
agree, like
Shoddy ran it every time.
EP Shoddy though, like if you had EP Shoddy and like a melting point, you were fine.
Yeah,
Can I be
I didn't
honest?
ever really need the eye at any point.
Morgath is boring. I
I
would
don't
put it,
like him either. I think he's
eh,
mid.
and he's a fucking marshmallow. He falls over in like 2 seconds.
Now, is he better than Axis Phase 1? That's what I need you guys
Yes,
to say.
I would rather do him than any of those other encounters in boring.
I'd put him behind. Honestly, Abyss. I like Abyss. I think Abyss is a fun little prelude. I almost think Abyss should go in Nope though.
I
And
mean,
be like second on
Abyss
Nope.
is technically a looted encounter though, like Death Singer. Like yeah, Death Singer and Abyss don't really play like an encounter, but they are technically encounters.
I could see it going behind Abyss or between Abyss and Axis Phase 1. Axis Phase 1 was really like an environmental thing for me. I enjoyed it because you get in there and you're like, there's this dude hanging on a wall.
That is cool. The fucking Perfection Complex was sick,
But
but
yeah, outside
yeah,
of
I
that,
mean,
it really wasn't a crazy encounter.
in D, I mean, we could put it in between Axis and Abyss or behind Abyss. It doesn't really matter to me too much. Like, but it is a boring encounter.
Dealer's
overall.
choice, Jack. It is a boring encounter. It's definitely not great. I think it could have been made better really easily, but it's
The
neither here nor there.
Vault is an S tier encounter, 1000%.
Yeah, I can't argue that. It's S. I think it's in front of Shirochi.
I would put it above Shirochi. Yeah, the Vault, in my opinion, is maybe next to Verity, but I would still say over Verity, like the best non-boss encounter that Bungie's ever done. The
Another
only
tough
the only downside is that it does take a little while, but at the same time, like it's not like super slow. Like it still feels like it's going quick. So
I think the biggest downside is that some people just end up being on night duty.
yeah. I mean, uh, that is true. Now that I think about it, we could drop it to A maybe. I don't know.
I put it
What,
over
what
Valkaor.
I wouldn't put it over Valkor, but I would put it like right behind
I
Val.
want to see Valkaor fall.
But to be fair, I'm also of the opinion that Valkor is S tier. So I don't know. We can drop Vault A. I'm down. I'm down for that. Just because like you are right. Like it's really only 3 people really need to know the main mechanics. Everyone else is just kind of on night duty. Now, to be fair, back in the day when it first came out, you needed someone on night duty because those nights were fucking beefy.
So we're going
But
top or
Nothing's
behind
changed.
Valkor?
I would put
I
it
think it's
behind
personally
Valkor
above it,
personally,
but I
but
never finished Valkaor. I found it boring.
I mean,
So-
I don't think Vault's boring. I think it's anything but. Even if you're not
I,
doing
I
anything.
mean, I agree. I just think like now, but then again, if we are trying to put like an emphasis on at release, like we mentioned earlier, then it should probably go into S. Just because like even though like the 3 people who were on night duty weren't doing the mechanics technically, like the being on night duty actually mattered when it
But,
first
I
came
mean,
out.
I'm
So
looking at Shirochi. I don't like Vault as much as I like Shirochi. That's just me.
that's fair.
Go
We'll
to
put it
top
top
of
A.
A.
We'll put it top A. That's fine.
Now,
Riven of a Thousand
having done
Voices.
this
Now that's
legit for the first time recently,
top of S. Top of S.
it's so good.
Nothing.
Never did it legit.
Riven legit is the best encounter they have ever done in the history of the game, hands down. And
they
I
let
don't
the
think
cheese stick
any.
around.
Well, that was the great thing about Pantheon is that they forced you to, which I don't know why they didn't implement that into the actual game, but
Yeah, it's
like
like
everybody just used it.
I digress. But it Riven legit's incredible. So I think it's peak. It's the definition of peak.
I think this is good.
The hard encounter, it's fine. I would put it maybe bottom of good. You know,
I think
it's
worse
cool.
than Cali.
Is it better than Cali?
It's worse than Cali.
It's
Yeah.
worse
Cali's
than
fun.
Cali. Yeah. I would rather do Cali over the heart.
Would we do
I
Heart
I'd rather
over
do
War
Priest
Priest?
over Heart. I'd rather do
I
War
think
Priest.
so. Honestly, I would probably rather do everything in that category over heart, excluding destroy the ships. Like I would put it behind Siege Engine.
I'm with Kevin on that.
You'd rather
Ships
do
is
Siege Engine
unmemorable to
than
me.
Heart?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Heart.
Why is Siege Engine so? Oh, I guess it's only so low because it's competing against some crazy bruisers.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Scourge of the Past Berserkers encounter, I think that's an A tier encounter. I think it is really cool.
Oh, jumping on the city tops and doing those things.
Yeah, and
have
have someone reading the map and
yeah.
and like directing you. I think that's sick, and it's an encounter we haven't ever seen again,
It
or
is a
like
really
an
cool
encounter
encounter.
design. And like you're in the middle of the city, it introduced a new enemy in the Berserker.
Only
It's
con.
A tier encounter, dude, 1000%.
I think it sits an A. My only con with it is you don't really feel the pressure of it as an encounter. You almost feel like you're just supposed to be running around for the whole time.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. I think that's
It's
different.
I like it.
interesting.
I like it too because it makes you like it forces you to explore a little bit and get comfortable with like the massive area. Like I think it's probably the biggest area that a raid encounter, like the biggest space a raid encounter's been in. It's got to be up there. It might not be the biggest. I'm probably forgetting something. Like it's up there for sure. It's massive.
Yeah, but never am I like, dang, I really got to nut up and do this. It's always like you're
No,
either
but it's
comfortably
fun.
finishing it or you're just not finishing it.
No, but it's
You
fun. It's
loosen up.
like yeah, it's like in terms of encounters that like I would want to replay and do. I would put that in A tier because of that. Like it has really fun replayability. You also, in terms of loot, that's where you got the curated threat level at the time, which was meta as shit at the time of release. So yeah,
It's like a public event.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's A.
I
It's
think
on
it goes
A tier.
behind Golgoroth at least.
I'd be okay to put it behind Golgoroth.
I just think it
But
feels like a public event. I can't put it that high, but whatever.
all right, what is?
Well, I might be with Thomas on this. Is it better than Crota?
I think so.
I don't think it's better
Personally.
than any of those on B.
Don't get me wrong,
I
it's
don't.
a
I
fun
personally don't
encounter,
like it more than
like,
Callie, but I
we
love
do have to
Callie.
be serious here. Like, I'm with Thomas. I think it goes bottom of B.
I mean, I can understand that. Like, yeah, like I think I would definitely rather do Atheon and Vossic over that. But again, in terms of non-boss encounter, it's up there. I wouldn't want to put it any lower than B.
I mean, it still is up there for non-boss encounter. Only Gauntlet, Dogs, and Vault are above it right now,
Yeah.
which are some crazy encounters.
All right, the Sparrow encounter where you get chased by the massive servitor. That's S tier, dude.
It's super fun.
It is
I
fun.
don't really feel like it merits it as an encounter because
I mean,
it's
you
almost
do
like a
technically.
side quest in the middle of the thing. But
It kind of is, yeah. Like I don't know if it would really count as an encounter, but we'll count it as one just for the sake of the video. Being for real, I mean, it's fun. I put it in good.
put it in good. I'd rather do it than Crota.
Honestly, yeah, I would. I would rather. I don't know. I think I'd still rather do the Berserker encounter over that, but I would put it in good. Or is Jack unwavering on his S tier? Jack's not even saying a word, dude.
His mouse is hovering.
Are we using the next encounter, Jack, or are you AFK? Oh, he's AFK.
So now it's time to talk about the time I did hit my brother with the car.
Hello.
Oh, he's back.
Hey.
Perfect timing.
This stays here. Moving on.
You know what? That's fair.
Where'd it go?
Top of S.
Damn it. I don't think it belongs there.
No, like being legit, it should be. It's a B tier encounter. Like it's fun. It's good. It's frisky and fun.
Risky. What did it do to you?
What do you mean? You tell me that servitor never got frisky with you?
Sarah never got frisky. It burned me to a crisp before it could touch me.
Why is D1 Golgi? No, it's
Because it was good. It was
D1
peak.
Golgi is peak, dude.
Golgoroth is almost a perfect encounter.
dude.
It
for a
really
boss
is.
encounter.
This
It really
Sparrow
is.
race was so fun.
It's fun,
So
but you also
fun.
have to think about like its competition, dude. Like, yeah, it's fun.
And it's also during the Sparrow race, if you just so happen to get killed by your buddy Paul by getting rammed into the wall, you're now sitting as a spectator for the next 5 minutes.
I know, dude. That's why
That's
it's so
true.
fun because we just screw with Bradford.
What do you mean, Jack? You were the one who was always the first dead.
I know. I said we.
Gotta get him.
I didn't say me.
We'll
I
keep it in
hunt
B.
Bradford and Jack like
We'll,
a
we'll
hawk.
keep it in B.
No, I got
Okay.
I got 3 of those before Bradford got 1. So.
Insurrection Prime Part 1, boring. Like the tanks are fun, but like if you're not on the 3 people who are reducing the tanks, you're literally just sitting there shooting at a big servitor. That's it.
It's definitely better than
mid-time,
Abyss, but is it better than Axis?
No, it's worse than
No,
Axis.
it's not.
Okay, all right, then it falls right there. Now,
Insurrection Prime,
ACP,
I don't
great
think it was that
encounter.
good.
I think it's at bottom A. I would.
Yeah,
honestly
that's
do that.
fair.
No, it's not.
I think
I didn't really like it that much, but I never got to go underground.
I think it's top B.
I'd be okay putting it top B. It's a good encounter. It's fun. Like I really enjoyed it. I liked the
Okay.
whole ACP thing, like where you actually can get bonus damage by coordinating your positioning. What was that one? I couldn't even see.
That's
Oh, was that
opening
intro
the
to Crown? Oh, yeah, put that shit at the bottom of the bottom, dude. That thing
I don't
sucked.
even
It is.
remember that.
I would honestly, I would rather do the plates in Eater of Worlds over Crown
I
intro.
completely
That thing
agree.
was a snooze fest and a
Remember.
half.
Yep.
Exactly, Thomas. That's yeah. You don't remember it. That's yeah.
Oh.
That's the history of that encounter.
Wait, is infiltrating the
Gowran's
kingdom? Is that like?
that's not really
That's
an
the
encounter.
bridge,
That's a
isn't it?
jumping puzzle.
Damn, this raid.
That's the
really
jumping puzzle where you
pushes
shoot the
all of
crystals that
it.
on like the big poles that go up and down.
Yeah,
That was too long.
This is
That
boring,
encounter
too.
was way too long for its own
I
good.
wouldn't even really call it an encounter.
Yeah, it's worse. It's better than plates. Is it
I
better
mean,
than
yeah,
Heart of Souls?
that's yeah, no. It was
Okay.
like Thomas said, it was long and it was
Yeah.
kind of glitchy and buggy.
All right.
Galran's Deception,
Galran Part
I would
1.
put
Phase 1
B.
It's
Galran.
fine. It's fine.
I put it
good.
B. Yeah, I put like
I
bottom
wouldn't
of
put it
B,
above
top of
Tally.
C.
I'd put it mid C.
It was
I don't
fun.
think it was as good
I mean,
as Callus.
it's fine. It's yeah. I'd be okay putting it fine. Like I enjoy it, but it is just watered down. Galran Phase 2.
I think Galran Phase
Which
2
Galran
goes
Phase 2.
above
I would
Crota. I think it's
I would do probably. I would do bottom of A on that one too. There's a lot that you like.
I
Yeah,
like
like
it. I agree.
Yeah,
the
I'm kinda
downside is
remembering
like
it now.
the loot wasn't the best, but like it's another thing. Like everyone's held accountable. Everyone has to know all the mechanics because it's hectic as hell. Like it's just really fun. There's a lot going on, and it's just a fun encounter to do. And damaging Galran at the time was hilarious because you could just full auto a mountaintop. But it was fun. I really enjoy it.
like
It's an encounter I would love to do again.
I get behind Galran. What's this next one?
What's the next one? Oh, Garden. Intro encounter to Garden.
This is hopscotch.
That's not a bad encounter.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Or is it?
I wouldn't put it in boring. I'd put the second encounter in boring, but
Is it better,
Better
than
than Destroy the Ships. It's not better than the Heart.
Yeah.
yeah, I would. Yeah,
That's
that's
about where it
right.
sits.
Right there is fine. Yeah. Now, second encounter, I would put like bottom of boring or top of trash.
Dude, this thing sucks.
This is the baseball diamond
Baseball,
before
yeah.
the
It's
middle
just,
opens up.
Yeah, it's just a snooze fest.
It's boring. Yeah. It's.
Not even an F. I
Is
honestly
it better than
almost went-
Axis?
Yeah, no, it's not better than Axis.
Is
I
it
would
better
put
than-
it.
Is it better than tanks on Scourge?
I
Not
would-
better than Abyss.
I think it's better than tanks.
I don't think it's better than Abyss.
I don't think it's better than Abyss either. I would put it behind Argos Phase 1.
No, it's better than Argos Phase 1.
I don't think so, but
Well,
then again, that's splitting it.
I like the
That's
portal
splitting
mechanic.
hairs at that point. The portal mechanic's cool. Once you get everything established,
We are gonna
it
have-
is cool how you have to split up the team.
We're gonna have some
Consecrated
arguments
Mind-
on these next two.
Good
No, okay,
encounter.
now listen. I'm trying to eliminate. I dislike
No,
Garden
we're
of
gonna have some
Salvation as the
arguments.
raid,
It's gonna happen.
but I'm trying to eliminate all my bias and do this in a
It's a good encounter.
Just the encounter.
in a vacuum. In a vacuum, I would put it in a solid B tier. I think it's a good encounter.
I like
It's
it better
fun.
than Insurrection Prime. I think it's active. You get to jump
I
around and shoot eyes,
completely
but
agree.
I would put Insurrection above it, but I think it would still be top of B. I think it's
Yeah,
fun. Like
I'm
it's
actually-
another chase. It's
I'm
another
with you on
chase
that.
mechanic.
I'm with you on that.
It's another chase mechanic. It's a fun DPS thing. Like actually, take that back. That's a massive arena too, if you think about it. But it
Yeah,
is cool, kind of how it's split up and like you go into
Everyone's
two
doing
different
something.
teams. Yeah, like it's constantly moving around.
You have to
so
read
like
out
it
the eyes.
exactly, and it's not like even though like it does take a little bit to set up DPS, it doesn't. You don't feel like it takes a while. Like it still moves pretty quick.
I thought it was great. I honestly think it should be top of B. I think
Jack,
while
Jack, no. Sanctified Mind is not as bad as I like to. You were crazy.
Sanctified
that-
Mind was cool. It's
I-
not
I-
as good as the Harpy encounter though.
I would put it like literally right behind the Harpy encounter, in B tier. No.
Dude, this thing sucked. I'm with Jack. This encounter sucked. Crypt Security is not even an encounter. It's just
Oh no,
One guy
hang
runs
on. We're
around
not
doing
done with
shit.
Sanctified Mind.
Yeah,
Rewind.
no,
We're not
as
done
a
with
Crypt
Sanctified Mind. No, we're
Security,
not done with Sanctified Mind. Back it up.
Sanctified Mind, dude.
It is
It goes
the
in
fact
B.
It's
goes
a
in
B
B.
tier. It's not a bad encounter. It's not a bad encounter. I prefer the Harpy over it, but I would be okay ranking it in front of the Harpy just for the sake of the video, they're neck and neck to me.
Neck and
I
neck.
personally enjoy the Harpy better, but like because a lot of people are like, oh well, it has such a short DPS phase. We'll get good and do a 2-break. So
Dude,
that's
I don't
fine.
even remember what a 2-break is. I'm just gonna say yeah.
Jack, do you remember what the 2-break was?
Oh, the eyes. That's right.
Yeah, the eyes.
The
No,
eyes.
not
You
no,
popped
no,
the-
not the eyes. The like
Oh,
when you
for
had to
this?
tether to
Tank
start
top?
damage. Yeah, when you had to tether to start damage.
So essentially, like he would put the blue or the orange plus sign in front of him, and we had to tether either the left or the right side, depending on what the
Yeah.
color was.
We're talking about Sanctified Mind. I thought we were talking about Harpy again. That's why I thought 2-break you were referring to.
No. 2-break on the Sanctified.
Is this every encounter?
Yeah, we're ranking every rating counter.
Crypt
Why
security
is
Did
goes
join.
in
Why
trash.
is
Crypt security
plates?
garbage.
Why is plates not in S tier?
Place is
from
not
the
even an
last one?
encounter.
Why do we bring Ben into this?
Why you don't like when
Ban him.
some guy just fell off the side and ruined it for everybody?
All right, Crypt security.
F.
No,
It's not that
No,
bad.
this is a mid-ass encounter.
I kicked Ben.
Oh, he actually kicked him.
it's not an F.
It's an F-tier encounter.
It's not an
You
F tier.
have you have 2 guys doing everything while the other guys sit in rooms and clear ads for
That's-
10 minutes.
It's fine.
but-
It's
Bottom
a
of C.
horrible
Bottom
encounter.
of C.
The
See,
damage
it's
doesn't
fair.
make
See, it's
sense.
fair.
Why the fuck are you shooting tubes?
It's
I'll be right
fine.
back.
It is mid. It is.
Wait,
Why'd you
let him
invite
do that?
Ben?
Wait, did you guys kick him?
No, he said he'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
That was mid incarnate the encounter. If I could rip my
Well, yeah,
toenails
but I
off
mean,
instead
but-
of
but
doing
to
this,
be
I
fair,
would do
like,
it.
C is like it's mid. It's
Fine.
middle of
It's
it's
not
middle of the pack.
boring.
Bro, it's boring.
Atrax
It's so
is-
boring. I'd rather do Argos phase
Mm,
1. Atrax is good.
Atrax is
exactly.
good. I would put Atrax like top of B or bottom of A.
Bottom of A. Going to space. Beating.
Yeah, dude,
Scourge
yeah,
Machine.
dude, you get to shoot up into space. I mean, come on.
You get in the poop tube.
It's
Descent's
Yeah,
good.
dude.
Descent's good. It's
Descent is good. Descent is a solid B tier. I mean, really you're putting it above your baby
I wouldn't put
Sanctified
it
Mind?
that high.
I wouldn't put it that high either. I'd put it like above the
Behind
it's
Berserker
better than
encounter.
D1 Grota for sure.
I honestly want to put it behind Berserkers.
And-
I want to put it trailing the butt end of B at best. I don't even think it deserves to be in C.
I think it's better than Berserkers, but I don't think it's.
I don't think it's that
I-
good of an encounter.
I wouldn't put it any higher, and I wouldn't put it any lower.
I think
it-
Berserkers is better because you get a sparrow.
I don't like the descent because Tanix
That's fair.
is right there. Why didn't we kill him? He's right there.
I know, but it's cool.
It
dude.
is-
The
it
ship
does leave place for a
crashes. We
reuse
crashed
boss.
on a space station.
It's
Yeah, I mean, I will say the environment is cool. Like you're in a crashing space
Yeah.
station. It's sick, but
the environment
it's
sells it. You've got a point there, but
Alright,
the encounter
wheelchair.
itself.
wheelchair Tanix is.
Yeah,
bottom,
yeah,
yeah.
see.
I would
mean,
like
the first
middle
three-
of
It's
C.
better than
Like
foot.
first-
It's better than ships.
The damage mechanic is too straightforward.
not.
I would
I
put
don't
it.
think it's
I
as
would
good
put
as
it
Harp.
behind. No, I would put it behind Callus. Like I would rather do it than D1 Oryx. But
I would also
Yeah, I
give
could do that.
Tanix credit, or I guess 8th iteration of Tanix credit for the exotic of that raid. I think that even though Eyes of Tomorrow wasn't very good, I enjoyed fighting Tanix to farm it. Like, it wasn't getting kicked in the nuts to try and farm it like with Riven, to where if one random messes up, you're fucked. It was very easy to farm. And
Yeah, that's
the
true.
exotic was exciting and unique. It's still one of my all-time favorite exotics. It's a fucking SAM launcher.
Alright,
It is
D2
cool.
rise,
Boring.
D2 Vault.
Just
Well,
very,
that's the
barely
same.
above
I mean, that's the
D1.
same entry.
It's,
encounter.
it's nothing different.
I don't even know if
Complexes.
it's
D2
above vault. I think it goes
complexes-
behind D1 vault solely because you can't go into it from the public space.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
about to
it's
say
true.
you can't have patrol people help you. So
I remember,
Yeah.
I remember people trying to.
I would go
Like,
in there
keep
under
going.
leveled and jump around the minotaurs to distract them.
D2 confluxes, I would put D tier. I mean, it's a bit more fun. It's more
trash.
engaging.
Yeah, not that
It's a.
bad.
I think
Like,
it's
I would-
fine
I would
encounter
put-
now. It's
I would put it above D1 oracles.
it
So,
definitely goes. Yeah,
It's in
about
D.
D1 oracles works
yeah,
for
it's
me
solid.
because you
D.
do
Like
have some
it's
mechanics
not
there.
it's not good, but it's not awful.
They trim some of the fat on it.
Yeah,
I put
D2
oracles in B
is
tier.
fun.
I like D2 oracles. I put them in B tier.
I would put it bottom of B.
Bottom of
I
B,
don't
yeah.
think it's
Cali.
not better than
I don't
Tanix.
think it's better than
somewhere below
Cali, dude.
this.
Cali is a good encounter. It's gatekeeping C.
Hang on, wait a second. What is Oryx doing right there in C tier?
That's
Mid.
D1 orcs. D1
Okay,
orcs.
okay. I was
D2
about to
orcs
fall
is
out of my
about to go
chair.
even lower. I do not like orcs.
No,
Whoa, hang on. We're gonna have some conversations when we get to
I mean,
that.
Oracles is
I'm
bad.
a little.
security.
I've been looking at the
That's
list,
fair.
kind of
That's fair.
Why is
trying to
Scourge
catch
Machine
up.
so fucking high?
The only thing that really I don't really get is Royal Pools. I don't think it was that bad if you had Merciless. Plus, you can get Midnight Coup from it. It's an F tier. I don't think it was that
That
bad.
is true. I did get my first midnight coup from.
You
Royal
also had
Pools.
Merciless. You had the I think that honestly, it's
So
at least
boring.
C or high
Yeah.
D.
I thought
I
it
don't
was
have a
boring
strong
though.
complaint about
It
it.
was boring. I
I
just
think
thought
it
it was boring.
go. It's not as good as Morgoth.
Nah, I
It
would.
goes
I would.
behind Morgoth. If we
I
rate it
really
all.
All
like
of these
if I
are
were to.
better than this, dude. All of these.
Yeah, I would rather
Yeah.
do like all those other encounters over whirlpools personally.
I think it's just because pools are so old. But I
I
think
mean,
adding
yeah,
pools is
yeah.
really
We
fun.
got to try and not get nostalgia blinded.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
I didn't mind pools, but
D2 Templar. Now on
Hey.
contest mode, it was
Hey.
a f***ing banger.
Hey.
Now, I will
Hey.
say that, but yeah, but on
Hey.
subsequent playthroughs,
Hey.
Ben, he
It
got
Hey.
ran
stays at
over.
the other Templar. I haven't really felt
What do you
much
mean? You can
difference
just
between
solo
this
him.
and normal Templars. I
I
think
would
it
put,
goes where
like-
the other Templar sits.
Where's the other Templar sit?
I think C.
Other
I would rather
Templars.
do D2 Templar over Cali. I would like if we're gonna put it in C, we should put it at top of C.
I think Cali is
I'm
still
with you
better.
on that. I'm with you on that.
I think
Bottom
Cali
B.
doors, dude. Doors.
Are you guys
Doors are
factoring-
cool.
Doors are cool.
You guys factoring the rewards into this? Because
Yes,
Templar
we
did
are.
a Fatebringer.
Templar
I'm
did
not.
give you Fatebringer on Master Mode. So like,
what?
yeah.
Cali gives you Chattering Bone, which
Oh
for
yeah,
a while
wait,
was
let me
meta.
get myself an age-old bond. That'll do
Age-old
it.
Bond was also meta when it had
It's
4 times.
age-old boo
4
boo.
times triple top, age-old Bond, and PvP was a super good weapon. And PvE was
what's
also
the
really good at the time for
Damn
about
age-old.
We'll keep it
couple
right
months.
in that. That's fine.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have a,
Gatekeeper. I would
F.
Hmm?
Top of F now. but-
D2 Gatekeeper. Nah, dude, I'd
Dude,
put it.
that-
In,
you still don't do anything. I go
I
in
put
there
it
and
in
now I'm
C.
suddenly aware there's an enemy in there that I
I
didn't
like
notice
D2
last time.
Gatekeeper. I put it
D2.
C.
It's like a little relay race. It's fun.
It's not that bad. They actually made
It's-
it more
it's D.
engaging. I remember every time I did it in D1, I just sat there. I can
Now,
at least
granted,
interact
like,
with
It's
it.
not as
I
good
think
You
as
it
can
goes
you
in
can
D.
technically cheese it because you can blind the Templar
You
and
guys
run them off the
gotta ask
map,
whether
or the Minotaur.
I think it goes in D.
I think it's behind Morgoth. I don't think it's.
I would.
better.
I mean, I would rather do Gatekeeper over Crypt Security.
I
But
put-
I don't think
wouldn't-
I agree. I think Crypt Security is way too fucking high. I think Morgoth is more enjoyable than Gatekeeper. Morgoth is a
That's fine.
true blue encounter.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that swap.
I like Morgoth.
All right, what is
Gatekeeper
this?
is like a here's the guy.
D2 Atheon.
Atheon.
D2 Atheon.
A.
I would put bottom of A. Yeah, top
Okay.
of B.
Where do we put Atheon?
Bottom
Regular
of A,
Atheon's in
yeah.
B. This would be beating the guy. Yeah, no, this works.
This is
Yeah, it
overall.
also
Yeah.
makes it to where like you get fed up running it over and over again. But dude, that first experience of fighting Atheon again, because that was his first raid ever reprised, right? Seeing
Yeah.
the glass throne
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
D2, it was so good. And
was
it's
nice.
just a fun fight regardless. The whole thing where you shoot the oracles backwards, figuring that out was really nice. And of
Yeah.
course, you had Vex at the end of it.
I did, yeah.
I
I
still
think,
like Atrax
and,
better. But
and I think you could say this with every reprise raid is that Bungie did a really good job of just taking the raid because, like, I know initially everyone was worried about they're gonna steal the identity and like it's not gonna feel the same, but like they just improved on everything that was wrong with the D1 counterparts and just made it better. It,
Yeah,
it's just
they
it
do.
just worked.
This
Plus,
next encounter
D2
goes in
is
B.
always gonna feel better because
well,
what is
yeah.
this?
Overwatch.
Intro into Val. That's yeah, B. Solid.
Oh wait,
B.
wait. Oh, this is the intro. I thought this was the
Oh,
room
oh,
where you sit
oh,
in there
wait,
with all
no.
those symbols.
Is
I don't
that the
think
intro?
this goes in B
No,
then.
no. It doesn't count. Yeah, it doesn't count the intro encounter
Yeah.
in Val.
I
I'm
thought this
watching
was
their
the one with the
random world.
puzzles and
Yeah,
everything.
this is symbols. Yeah, it's B.
Yeah, that's symbols. Yeah, solid B. I would
Symbols, third encounter in Val.
no
Second.
first encounter in Val. First
I think
encounter.
it's- it depends on
yeah,
if you
that-
count the bus.
It's a B.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
it
it's,
doesn't count the party barge. It's just this is like the first looted encounter.
I like
Party
this
barge.
encounter.
I
I
think
think
better than
it's
Insurrection.
I think it's fun. Yeah, a lot of
I
people
don't know
think
if it's. I don't know about being better than
it's better than
Insurrection.
Insurrection.
I think Insurrection was
Okay
better
with it.
because it's a servitor piloting a mech and he pops out and goes, "Brrr," and you shoot him, and then he has to crawl back in there and stomps around, and you get to drive a tank. Personally, I would put Insurrection as Prime a little higher up, but that's just me. I think it-
Prime just was boring for half the fire team. 3 people actually got to do stuff. Everybody else is just like,
that's
Cool.
fair.
That is true. I can see that being a criticism.
Caretaker, I would put like middle of A.
Caretaker's
I
A.
think
Yeah,
Caretaker's
Caretaker,
really
good
fun.
ass
Really good.
encounter.
I think
Really
he's
good encounter.
and doing it on Pantheon made me appreciate it even more.
I
think
agree.
it beats Valkaor. I don't think it. I don't know. If
No,
it beats Val.
I wouldn't. No, Valkor is a different kind of beast. He doesn't beat
I
Valkor,
first,
but he's
yeah,
good.
but I would put it right there. I put it over Beast. Yeah, I think that's valid.
Better than
right
Beast.
there.
It's a whole unique encounter. It's
Now
really
that
fun.
one, the what is it
Relics,
technically
these are
called?
relics.
This one was mid. It's okay.
The
Oh, the upended
upended.
The upended
Summit?
summit.
These
Yeah,
relics.
This
That's
could
the relics
go
encounter.
somewhere in C.
I
I
would
want to
put
flesh
it,
out B and D, but this is definitely not B, and I don't think it's D.
I think it's B. I personally do. I think it's really fun in terms of non-boss encounter. Like you're moving around. There's got to be communication. Everyone has to know what to do because you don't know who's going to get the relic or whatever.
Yeah,
like
that's one thing that Val absolutely
Still don't-
did so much
enjoyed it
better.
more than both of these. But
I would put it right there. Like I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't put D1 Atheon over it, but yeah, I would like bottom of B. I think that's no. I mean, I
Bossic's better,
wouldn't.
for
Like
sure.
you could, yeah.
Bossic's definitely better. There's no question in my mind about that one.
No, I
D1
agree.
Atheon,
That's a good spot. Rolk is
Rolk-
S tier.
Yeah, Rolk
1000%.
is S tier.
I
Absolutely.
would put it in front of Shirochi. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah,
you that.
that's
Roke
fair.
is
I
an
don't
S
think
tier
he's as
encounter.
good as. Dude,
He's not as
honestly,
good as Axis or Riven, but Rolk is a great encounter.
I
The
don't even
boss
know.
room is mid, but the final area where you damage is impeccable.
I agree. Yeah, like getting to damage is a little. I mean, it's not like a snooze fest, but it is a little boring. Now, I will say in Pantheon, it did make it more fun with the Tormentor because like you actually kind of had to focus fire on, and like everyone had to pay attention to be on their toes. Whereas you could kind of take a bit of a snooze.
Did any of you
But
guys do Rolk legit?
His
on
mannerisms.
Pantheon, yeah, I did him.
That
And I cheesed him. Dude, Baby Rolk or Shadow Rolk or whatever, that was crazy.
We had this one guy whose name was literally the babysitter, and he was like, what's the name of that stupid ass exotic to where you give yourself a shield? He ran an heir apparent and sat there letting Baby Roll kick the shit out of him in a corner.
Oh,
And
that's
how
actually
we got through
genius.
it. Yeah. He used
Yeah,
heir
dude.
apparent.
Rolk is a great encounter just because at the time, like there was literally no boss besides maybe Valkaor or Callus
Also, probably the
that,
biggest.
that threatened you.
Oh, he's so
You
much
know?
more aggressive
Yeah.
than Callus.
But
I think that's what makes him
I
fun.
mean, well, yeah, I'm just talking about just threatened like in general. But in terms of like actual aggression and literally being in your fucking face, like
Yeah,
Rolk
His
was
design is
awesome.
sick.
He's not one of the first
Yeah,
bosses.
his design is sick too.
Like
Kind of a twink,
90% of the bosses in here are like, hey, we're just a wall. Shoot at us. We'll occasionally go burr and put some projectiles back. Having a guy actually run around the arena was great.
Yeah.
And I agree with Jack that it is such a mix up with his design. I mean, every boss in here kind of falls into the same category of like
Well,
Vex.
if you think about it, he's the first like
Darkness.
usual like non what we're used to race
I
because I
guess
mean like
Riven was there first.
well that's true Riven I didn't think about that but
Except
yeah
we knew
it's
about
just
Riven
second.
as an
creature,
Ahamkara
like,
long
Rolk
before.
is-
That's
But
true.
yeah, we did know that the Amkar were in the lore. We had never heard about Rolk's people until we met Rolk. So
Yeah.
First
So-
truly new thing that they added.
D2 Hall of Souls.
D2 Hall, I mean, just put it. It's just a
Boring.
little bit better than D1 Hall of Souls, which is down at the very bottom.
Yeah.
I don't even remember this thing. What is it?
I'm with you in there.
It's the Court of Oryx D1.
Oh,
Or
why does it
D2
call Halls? It's
Totem?
Court of Oryx.
D2
It's always been
Totem's
called
pretty good.
Court.
D2 Totems, I would put in like
Fine.
middle of C. Yeah, I mean, like it's solid. It's
I had to
not
run
bad.
some
It's for the
Totems.
Sips. I think it
It's
beats
better than Argos, I think.
Argos Phase 2. I don't know why Callus is so low. I don't think it beats Callus.
Yeah, I put
That's
Chaos up a little
I'd
higher.
I would put Callus like probably honestly in front of Gowran's Deception.
I
Dude,
agree.
I haven't really
Is this
gotten to
Templar
look
or
at this
D2?
list.
There's this Templar D1. That's
I
right
feel
there.
Then
like-
we're ranking it like left to right. So like the further left and the higher up it is, it's like the best in that slot.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
figured.
Callus
I
ain't as
just,
good as Templar D2. You're right.
I would
That's
have to, I'd have to like, if I were doing this list, I'd do it like by final boss encounters get their own like separate slate, and then like puzzle boss encounters because it is
Well,
weird seeing
like,
like acquisition above Callus because
We're ranking it just in terms of like
It's just
Overall,
it's a cumulative.
so like
It's the
our thing
correct
is like
opinion.
would you rather run this over this, and that's kind of how like in terms of just like fun factor, loot, replayability. So like
I think Callus beats Templar D1. I think we need to make that adjustment really quick.
yeah, I agree.
I don't think that. Yeah, that's about where I
And
think he sits. He's not as good as
make
Warcraft
like
D1.
once we're done like ranking everything, we can
Yeah,
like go
we'll-
make
we'll
tiny
do an
adjustments at the
overpass.
very end.
War Priest.
Hey,
D2
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 for
War
now.
Priest, I would put probably in between Templar and D1 War Priest. It's just a little
he's
bit
up
better.
there.
It's not crazy, but it's I do
think it's
really
better than Templar. Other Templar, Jack.
yeah
You have
that's
not-
fair.
You have not suffered until you've ran War Priest with Ben Calvert's group.
You haven't
It's-
suffered until you've done War Priest on challenge mode, and you have to like
I think we all did that.
get the no like master challenge mode where you have to get the little buff or whatever, and then go back into the aura within like 3 or 4 seconds.
You have
But
to
like
use the fresh.
Bungie's fucking netcode is so horrendous that it like you really only have like 1 second to actually get there. So like the only way you could complete the challenge was if you're on a Thunder Crash Titan and you immediately Thunder Crash over to the group. It was horrible.
Alright,
Amazing.
D2 Golgi.
But the updated mechanics were fun. D2 Golgi, S tier, 1000%.
Golgoroth is up there. He is.
I would
Banger
put it
Supreme.
in
I'd-
front of Shirochi.
Yeah, I
but
put him in
behind
front of
Rolk.
Shirochi.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
love.
about right.
Golgoroth, like Thomas said, is almost a perfect encounter.
And
Like
all
it's
the
just
bosses are. I guess Pantheon gets like special points if it was with a Pantheon because you actually get.
Yeah, I
to
mean, well,
experience
like
Did you guys play
Pantheon
Ezra?
improved it even more.
I disagree.
No,
okay.
we're going in
It's
chronological
whatever.
order.
Well, Jack, it's more engaging if you get to be a gauge grabber.
Daughters,
I
F. Still hate daughters.
I've done gaze.
Daughters
is not F.
is better in D2. Daughters is better in D2.
Where do we
Daughters
put
are
these,
trash.
these women? Where did they
It's
go?
better than Oracle's D1. It's better than
I'm playing it
Complexes.
C, dude. I would rather do Daughters over Morgeth. I'd rather do it over Oracles. I'd rather do it over Riven's Heart. I'd
Where
rather
did
do
we
it over
put the other
Fossick Phase 1.
daughters?
F, I think.
No, we didn't put it in F.
No.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. It goes in D. They didn't. I feel like they didn't
Yeah, I
really
know, I
change
know,
much about
but
the
I think
identity of the
it's-
encounter.
I think Daughters is
I like it because I
think
can use
Daughters
Touch
is
of
better
Malice.
than.
Same.
I would
like,
rather
right here,
do crypt security than daughters,
It
and I
does
do
not
like
need to
crypt
go lower
security.
than this. I'll put it that way. I don't think.
That's fine. I mean, it is a little boring on subsequent playthroughs, but
I mean,
I
Alright.
never
they
really
do
got
better
what
than the
made that
final
encounter enjoyable.
D2
The DPS is too low.
Oryx is S tier.
Sweet. That's A,
Oh,
you
man.
goober.
I don't think
It has the
it's
same
Oryx
as
is
issues.
S tier. No, it does not. It does not have the same issues.
It has the exact
No, it
same
does
issues where it
not.
feels like the bombs just take you out of any kind of true DPS cycle. It
You
has the same
literally
identity.
yes and no.
The bombs start the DPS cycle, and you actually get to damage him now.
Yeah,
But
he's
you
S tier.
damage him, but it feels like it doesn't
He's
make
above
any
Golgoroth,
difference.
Jack.
No.
He's above Golgoroth. He's
I
above
wouldn't put him.
Golgoroth.
I don't think he's above
I wouldn't
Golgoroth
put
at
him
all.
above
I'm
He's
with
Golgoroth.
Zach.
above Golgoroth. He's literally
I
better
think
than
he checks
Golgoroth.
A if y'all are really gonna harp on it, but I
Pantheon
I think
don't
he
Oryx?
him in
No, you
D2.
put him at S tier above Golgoroth right now. I'm gonna come over to your house and piss
Like-
on your keyboard.
If I'm sincere, I don't like Oryx as an encounter, even in D2. He just
I think D2 Oryx is one of my all-time favorite encounters, genuinely.
Agreed. It's up there in front of Golgoroth. There you go. That's good. Remember we
I don't
day
think
one
it goes
that
into
shit.
S.
It
I
does.
don't know if I would put it in front of Golgoroth, just
I
because
would.
in terms of like I'm trying to look at it non-biased in a vacuum, but I do think it deserves to be in
I think this
S.
is a good.
It's a little clunky.
I would tie them. You could tie the two of them.
Yeah,
I know
I
you
mean,
can't do
that
that,
seems
but
weird.
like
All right, so now we're going to wait. What? What?
this is
It got Crota
It's
backwards.
Abyss.
Do
D2
do
Abyss
a
is fun.
go to Ron first, Jack, because it got it backwards.
Abyss Bridge.
Well, we're doing chronological, and Ron
Oh.
came after.
Cataclysm is
Cataclysm is trash.
probably the
but
best of the first two encounters, and that's not really saying much.
I like it's just
It's
not
better
good.
than Gatekeeper.
I mean,
It's all about busy work.
it's top of trash. Like
Better
you-
than Oracles for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
It's
top
better
of
than
trash.
Oracles, yeah.
It's on top of the
I
pile,
think it goes
baby.
right there. I
Fluxes.
think
It
it's
is, oh yeah, it
it
is
goes
better than
right
Cataclysm.
there. I think
That's
Bridge is
fair.
better.
Okay, this is
what
the
is-
Albert
The Wall
encounter.
of Anger.
This is Albert.
This thing fucking sucks.
This is no. We gotta give it bonus points because
This is
of
a
Albert.
god
is
awful
Albert.
encounter.
Because
It
of
has
the Albert
nothing good
encounter.
about it.
It
This
is
goes in
boring.
trash.
No,
but-
just make a new tier, like in
For
between
Albert.
boring and trash.
Albert tier.
In between boring and trash, and then just do Albert. Wait, what'd
Why'd
you
you
do?
flip
I don't know
boring
what I did.
below trash?
I
Oh,
don't
here,
know.
no, just go back up on it. Like, hit the up arrow. There you go, and then I think go to settings maybe, and then add row above. Add row above.
Trash.
Yeah,
Albert tier.
there you go. Yeah.
What color should Albert be?
Red for exploded monkey.
I agree. That's
Like
that's
that.
a fair color.
We got
I just hate this encounter so much. I've never felt like I know what I'm doing. I'm just launching myself across a gap every time.
Albert.
There we
Just right.
are.
There we go.
Albert tier.
There we go, dude. All right.
Microcosm. This one's actually good.
Macrocosm. That now Pantheon took years
the
off my
fire
life
tornadoes
doing that,
took it
Yeah.
out of me.
but
This
it is a good encounter.
It is a good encounter.
Nah,
It
dude,
is a
too
it's
buggy
solid.
to be good. Too buggy to be good.
It's not
They
buggy.
released that thing in a half-baked state. It was still
They
dripping
released the
fucking
entirety
dough,
of
dude.
Beyond Light and Half Baked State. I'm
That
telling
I
you,
mean, yeah. I mean, you could say that about all
looking
Beyond
at it from a
Light, or
Pantheon
Light.
perspective,
Lightfall,
I
not
really
Beyond
liked
Light.
it.
Well, that was the point. Is we were talking about on release.
Yeah, I mean,
This thing came out
I'd say it's
half-baked.
good. I'd say it's good. I don't know. I still enjoy. I in my opinion, at release, it was, again, not saying much, but it was by far the best of all the encounters in that raid.
Okay.
I think it
Yeah,
goes
I
in
agree.
front
Yeah.
of Galran's Deception on C. I think that's where it goes.
No.
I would rather do
That's
Macrocosm
good where it's at.
over Sanctified and Consecrated Mine. I'd
Yeah,
rather do it
it's
over
better
D
than all
Crota.
these. It's
Keep in
better
mind,
than all these.
Sanctified is only so high because of Jack.
I mean, okay, I don't like. We make fun of Sanctified, but like, if they actually made it work, it actually is a good
It'd
encounter.
be
The
a
problem
really
was,
good
No, I agree.
they
Like,
did it on Xbox, and
I tried to look at it in an unbiased perspective. It's not a terrible encounter.
okay, now before we start immediately hate bombing Nezarek, I do want to give Nezarek a bit
Sucks.
of credit for Pantheon mode. I think that really helped us.
Pantheon Nezarek was a different
It's
beast,
fine.
dude.
That
I
was-
mean,
I put him in good.
This is
I'd put him
release.
bottom
This
of
is
good.
release. It's fine.
Okay,
If the boss is beatable by standing on a flower 2 feet from him because his fat chicken legs can't get up it, I think that defeats the purpose of it being a roaming boss. But that's my own opinion.
he's got a
bottom of
point.
B. I
He's
put him
got a
at
point.
bottom of B because you also got what's it called? Arguably the coolest special weapon like ever from that encounter.
I've
That
not
is
been
true.
considering
If
drops
you
because
take
we were
Root-
considering drops, and half of these things just wouldn't even be ranked.
This is where I
Valkyrie
would
would
put
be
it.
an F tier if we're considering drops.
Okay,
Because
but
dude has
couple
nothing
points.
to his name.
Put
He
him
has
at
maybe a
top of
thing
C.
of
Put
pocket
him at least
lint.
top of C. He's
I'd rather do Nezarek over Cali. I would.
he's got a really good soundtrack.
I think
with
Virgo's
him.
in D.
It's fun because he yells at you the whole raid. He's also Nezarek.
I'm trying.
with that.
entirely, Kevin. I'd rather do
I'm
all
trying to
of
be.
these.
Jack,
I'm
put
trying
in
to
a
He goes
do
in
new
D.
on this.
Look how
Jack,
shallow
no,
D is looking. We need to throw
Jack-
something in there.
Jack, put a tier between B and C and call it chicken, and put Nezarek in there.
No, it's not between B and C. How do you? It's between C and D.
No,
Yeah.
B and C.
You ain't cooking nothing.
No, you
I'm
keep
actually okay with how upset I get at Nezarek. He is very buggy. I gotta say.
He just half-baked ass bot. He had a
know what
great
you mean.
concept, and then it just doesn't do anything with it. He just
Why
runs
are
around
you
doing
doing
fuck
chicken
all.
in gray? You
Oh,
can't even
wait.
read it.
Shit.
The chicken tier, dude. Change it back to C. That's C tier, and then just change the color.
C is for chicken, and chicken is for me.
Yeah, that's why Nezarek needs to be a top of C because C is for chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nezarek.
Alright, where'd you put him? C and D. Good.
Chimkin.
No, you put Nezarek up top of C.
All right, there we go.
Nezarek is just not a good boss. He also is just horribly designed. Like, dude is ugly as sin.
He's not, he's not as bad as once you see
Alright.
like
If I had a Nezarek in my family tree, I'd kill myself.
D2 Crota, Abyss Encounter.
I think D1 Crota is a little bit more fun.
Personally, I fucking hate it just because we never get it on the first try. But unbiased, it's probably like
It's hilarious.
bottom of
I'd,
C.
I'd probably put it top of chicken.
I think it's hilarious. It is just a little long. I think that's a fair spot to put it.
Bridge D.
Other bridge is in D because it's buggy and broken. This bridge is not bad. This
It's
bridge is
not
above
bad.
Crypt
My
Security.
only gripe with it is it feels like it takes forever.
Shout out to for
I think it's better
swinging
than
the
Crypt
sword
Security.
and throwing it off the bridge for 8 times.
I would
does
put
take
it
a
like
long time.
top of D just because it gets boring. I mean, I actually no, I would rather do Crypt Security and
Mhm.
Axis Phase 1 over that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
that's fair. Where that's fair. Now, Gatekeeper or not Gatekeeper, the Death Singer.
Ooh.
I would
I-
put
No
in.
difference in my opinion. They feel so similar.
I'd put in C, dude. Honestly,
I don't know. It doesn't really feel like an encounter
top,
even
I
now.
would put it top of C. It's a lot more fun though because you actually have to do stuff to get the damage.
It's not
Yeah,
top.
rather than
Kill
just
two
making
strikers.
her.
You have to go through the shield barriers and you have to kill the dudes with the chalice and rotate the chalice of light so you can get empowered or enlightened or whatever it was
Then
called.
somebody uses Wish Ender to figure out where the thing is.
Yeah, it's somewhere in C. I think I would rather do Gowran's Deception. I would put it in front of Totems, honestly.
Okay, fine, whatever. Crota.
B.
I don't like D2
So-
Crota as much as D1 Crota. I'll just say it.
You
I
just
think
hate
the health
everybody.
removing. No, I think the health removing mechanic was pretty fun in D1 Crota. I think D2 Crota just doesn't have much of an identity.
I mean, I
Like-
think he's B
I
at
think
least.
so. I think he's a solid B tier.
I put him in
think
B
he's-
tier.
He's fun. He's
You
fun
think
to
I mean,
do.
Swords
D1
do
Crota's
massive?
in B tier, so like that's
Swords doing
fine.
more damage. Actually being
Yeah, I
able
mean-
to damage him as a team, that's huge.
Yeah,
You could
I
always
agree.
damage
It-
that team. You had to take down his shield somehow.
Well, yeah, but I mean, actually damage his health bar as a team.
You
I
can
don't
also
think it's
cast
as fun.
supers on him as well.
Yeah, I
rather
mean,
than
I
just
think that's
everyone-
a solid. Yeah, that's good.
I just think it's.
Solid,
I mean, it
solid.
could be in B. I just never really felt D2 Crota was that entertaining.
All right,
Last raid.
last
Substratum.
raid. Substratum, or however you pronounce it. I think it's fun. Everyone, you
I
have
love
got
it.
to.
Yeah.
It's just
This one is
insane
fun.
ad clear,
I agree.
balls to the wall, just go crazy with it. I put it in B.
Yeah, I think it's
be-
enjoyable.
I think it's better than Acquisition.
On day
I think-
one, I got a glaive from it, so put it in F.
That's fair.
I think that's a fine spot to put Substratum.
love this
Herald of
encounter.
Finality.
That is
I
an
like
S
this
tier
guy.
encounter.
A,
This thing is
A
awesome.
or bottom of S. Yeah, top of A, bottom of S.
This thing is my favorite encounter in the raid by a mile.
In my opinion, it is the coolest, or well, I would actually top 3 coolest boss arenas, and the mechanics are really fun. Really
This
fun.
is boring to me.
The repository,
The circuit breaker.
It's like top of boring.
Yeah, top of boring. I'd rather do it over crypt security, but Verity, I would
I've
put
not done
in an A. I would give it a
Still
solid
haven't
A,
done it.
top of B.
Is it better than
Solid
Vault?
A, like button. I prefer Vault personally, but I would put it like bottom of A.
Vault
Like
lets you fight more, while Verity is just more vault puzzle solving.
Yeah, Verity is a little like it's really just like think the encounter. Like
We
you're
don't
not
really know how this works. Ship it. They'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Dad, can
Last
you sit
one.
here for the next 48 hours?
yeah, dude. Like I don't even think Bungie realized how that encounter works. So,
I
Witness
love
is
this encounter so much.
so fun. I honestly though I would rank it a little bit beneath Herald of Finality. I really
I
would.
agree.
Imagine getting
Herald-
overshadowed by your own little minion, man.
It doesn't even have an identity. If Herald of Finality was an actual boss,
Or
It
he's the
would be a
Herald of
lot more
Finality.
fun. It would be a lot more fun. Yeah, I agree. That is my only gripe with the entirety of Salvation's Edge, is that the Herald of Finality like should have been like an actual like person or not person.
It's probably
it had an
Tanix.
identity other than another Tanix. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just another Tanix.
All right, that's it.
I feel happy with that list. Valkaora is S tier in my heart, but other than
Yeah,
that,
also, I would actually make a case because I went hearing you guys put. I think Valkyrie is S tier. Now, getting a Last of the Legion after beating him was not great, but I think
that's
it
what
was
it's called. The sidearm, Last of the Legion. Yeah.
that thing sucked. But back in the
That thing
day, people forget this was back before Forsaken, where you actually had like a fusion rifle in the heavy slot, and had double primaries.
That's
Is it-
true.
He'd still be tough by like today's loadout standards if you brought him up to speed. Imagine doing him when you get 2 scout rifles.
I
We had
agree.
to use Crimson the hand cannon.
I just like the way this turned out. It's pretty symmetrical. It's pretty Gaussian, which is what I think it should look like.
That's your criteria.
Yeah, because that means that we did a good job in our
Equal
organization.
distribution.
We did evenly distribute. I think that's solid. Let me look at the S tier encounters one more time. Yeah.
Riven's up there. I obviously
Riven
get
comes
like
with the asterisk.
Golgoroth, Oryx, Shurchi. Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy about that.
Riven is I would honestly probably tie Axis and Riven, but I think that Riven was more iconic because of 1,000 voices. I think that the grind to do her every single week, every Tuesday, to get that 1K was insane. And the
Yeah.
community
Fucking
always
sucked.
rallied. The community always rallied to figure out how to fucking bug her. And doing her legit is so much fun.
I don't
Doing
like
her
that she
legit
can be
is-
done
Especially
not
on
legit. I
Pantheon.
think that's so boring and so lame.
This is a good list. This is good. It just shows to show how good Forsaken was that 2 of the encounters are up there in S tier.
All right.
That's true.
That's
That
it.
was goaded.
It also shows how good Taken King was.
That
still
is
think
also
it was.
true.